Controversy in the story of the limousine engulfed in flames on a San Francisco Bay Bridge.
Rain is in the forecast and it has been pouring in Southern California. This is OC News Now. Hello and welcome to OC News. I'm Averill Tamaiko.
And I'm Shannon McPherson. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Today's top story, authorities say it will take weeks to investigate the cause of a limousine fire in California that left a newlywed bride and 4 of her friends dead. 9 passengers were traveling in a Lincoln as it headed across the San Francisco Bay along the San Mateo Hayward Bridge on Saturday night. Only 4 came out alive. Here's CNN with the very latest.
The limousine driver saw flames and smoke coming from the back of the limousine, at which point he pulled over. Now, he was able to get out of the car unharmed, as were 4 of the passengers that were sitting up towards the front of the vehicle. Now, 5 others sitting towards the back were not as lucky. According to the CHP, they died at the scene. And in a conversation I had with the coroner's office, they told me, Don, the bodies were so severely burned that it could take days before they're positively ID'd. Now, CNN has reached out to the limousine company repeatedly and left repeated messages. Unfortunately, those calls have gone unanswered. But in a statement to the media, the limousine company said, in part, LimoStop Inc. will do everything possible to investigate and assist authorities in determining the cause of the fire in order to help bring forth answers and provide closure to victims and their families.
Nick Valencia, thank you very much for that. Witnesses say some people stopped to try to help, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Police say they'll continue to investigate.
Today, the California Supreme Court unanimously upheld the right for cities to ban medical marijuana dispensaries. The court said facilities that dispense medical marijuana may pose a danger of increased crime, congestion, blight, and drug abuse, and the extent of this danger may vary widely from community to community. However, voters or the legislator may try to decide to adopt a different approach. Medical marijuana advocates maintain that local government cannot bar activity that is technically legal in the state. The court's ruling upheld a ban by the city of Riverside and is expected to lead to more bans throughout the state.
It was a little tricky getting to classes this morning at Cal State Fullerton. Heavy rains caused many of the streets around CSUF to flood. Nutwood Avenue saw significant flooding that caused many students to abandon the crosswalk from College Park to the main campus. Rain continued throughout the morning, resulting in an empty quad as students sought shelter indoors. And still, other students were late to class because of difficulty finding a parking spot. The east side parking structure was closed because of flooding on the first level. But by midday, the sky started to clear and the flooding dissipated.
So, how long will the rain showers be with us? Shannon McPherson has our 5-day weather forecast, and there is some good news as far as this weekend and Mother's Day.
Tomorrow, there is a 30% chance of rain in the morning, but temperatures should rise to 86 degrees. Wednesday will be partly cloudy with temperatures in the high 60s. Thursday, we will have a high of 66 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Come Friday, we will be feeling that warmer weather with 71 as our high. Saturday should reach 78 degrees without a cloud in the sky. Sunday could be a day for the beach with temperatures at 83 degrees here in Fullerton. So yes, definitely some nicer weather in store for our weekend. And speaking of Mother's Day, which is just around the corner, I set out on campus to ask the students of Cal State Fullerton some questions about their moms. Let's take a look. What traditions do you have with your mom?
Usually, my brother and I, we kind of decide ahead of time where we're going to take her. You know, it's usually out to a restaurant. Usually it's for breakfast, and then she gets to spend time with the grandchildren until she's tired, then she says go away.
We have dinner with my immediate family, usually at dinner, and then the next day after Mother's Day we have it with the whole family, with the cousins and the aunts and uncles.
She usually tells us what we're going to do.
I think the best gift I ever gave her was
Jewelry, perfumes, or anything she needs. Like, yeah, I just get her.
Sometimes just thanking her for everything that she's done for us.
Probably buy her lunch. That's probably my best gift.
The worst gift is when I forgot a Mother's Day.
Having no gift at all.
we went to Color Me Mine and made her like a butter dish or something. Like she doesn't need a butter dish, like it was lame. We were young, so.
How would you describe your mom in one word?
Hardworking. Yeah. Hardworking and caring. That's 2 words.
One word. Let's see.
I guess like strong. I guess that kind of covers everything. She's like a really strong person.
She's very loving, and I love her.
They definitely love their moms. For those who haven't gotten a gift or planned your Sunday yet, don't forget, Mother's Day is May 12th.
The city of Tustin is opening a new police memorial for Orange County officers. Here's Erica Quita with more.
Directly behind me is the Orange County's Sheriff's Training Academy, which will now be home to the new Peace Officers Memorial. Police officers place themselves in harm's way every single day, and this is to pay tribute to those that have lost their lives, and where friends and family can come and pay their respects to their loved ones. Stuart Woodward has designed the memorial for our fallen heroes. There will be acknowledgement panels for those who donated to the memorial. 2 bronze statues of a male and female officers will be standing next to an eternal flame that will burn day and night, representing the memory of all officers. Officer plaques will be surrounding the monument with names of the officers that have died in the line of duty. The memorial is scheduled to open May 28th. This is Erica Gueto reporting.
When we come back, our own Madeline Scanes takes you on a trip to a beautiful southern Vietnamese market.
Up ahead in sports, the Titan baseball team sweeps rival Long Beach State over the weekend. Track and field has 9 personal record bests, and the Clippers are ousted from the NBA playoffs.
Along with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
It's been a wild weekend for Cal State Fullerton and in the NBA and NHL playoffs. Our very own Blake Arthur has everything.
We begin this week in sports with the Cal State Fullerton baseball team who hosted Long Beach State over the weekend. The Titans swept the rival Dirtbags, winning all 3 games. The number 4 ranked Titans have now won 5 games in a row, moving them to 39-7 overall and 15-3 in the Big West Conference. The Titans have been led by their 3 starting pitchers who have a combined record of 26-4. Cal State Fullerton returns to action this Friday where they will travel to UC Riverside for a weekend series. The Titan baseball team wasn't the only team to complete a sweep over the weekend. The Fullerton softball team swept the University of Pacific Tigers and now have pushed their win streak to 4 games. The Lady Titans are now only a game behind 500 and are 11-10 in conference play. They will conclude their season this weekend at Cal State Northridge where they will play a 3-game series. With the Big West Conference Championship sitting in the horizon, the Cal State Fullerton men's and women's track and field team came up with a big performance over the weekend as 9 athletes set personal bests at the Oxy Invitational. After another solid weekend, the Titans will look to the biggest meet of the season next Friday and Saturday in Northridge, California. From on-campus athletics, we now look to the professional ranks in the NBA where the Clippers have been bounced from the playoffs. The Clippers lost to the Memphis Grizzlies in 6 games, and much like the Lakers, the Clippers will now be focused on addressing some off-season concerns, mainly being their star point guard Chris Paul, who is an unrestricted free agent. Paul has been mum on whether he wants to stay with the Clippers, but it seems as though the organization will do everything to retain him. While the Lakers and Clippers may be done, hockey is still alive in Southern California. The Kings and Ducks are still in the first round of their respective playoff matchups, with the Ducks leading 2-1 over the Detroit Red Wings and the Kings trailing 1-2 to the St. Louis Blues. Both teams will play their respective game 4s tonight. That looks like all for this week in sports. Be sure to tune into all the sports action. Let's go back now to Shannon and Avriel in the studio.
Now for your news from around the nation, we go to our own Marquise Freeman.
We begin in Utah in the Salt Lake City suburb of Taylorsville, where a youth soccer referee has died after being struck by a player in a game on April 27th. 46-year-old Ricardo Patil was refereeing a game in a Hispanic soccer league for children between ages 5 and 17.
We're all there to have fun, not to go and kill each other.
Police initially charged the team with aggravated assault, but with Portillo's death, authorities expect to upgrade the charges. Portillo leaves behind 3 daughters and 3 grandchildren.
Time in jail like forever. It's not enough. They're not going to bring my daddy back.
Tens of thousands of NRA members and supporters gathered in Houston this weekend, just weeks after the Senate fell short of the 60 votes needed to push forward with a bipartisan proposal to expand the background check system for firearm purchases. A proposal for an assault weapons ban was also defeated. Debate is high again after footage of a police shooting in Ohio. Talk show host Glenn Beck rallied the crowd, saying there was no compromise for gun control.
Let us now start the conversation about responsibility. The freedom of all mankind, make no mistake, is at stake.
The debate continued inside and outside the convention.
As far as the state of the NRA, I believe they're stronger than ever.
January 14, 2013, Terrell Frazier was killed by gunshot at the age of 21.
The convention was the first since the shootings at Sandy Hook and since gun legislation was defeated in the Senate.
Let's not fool ourselves. It doesn't mean the war is over.
There seemed to be no stopping the raucous crowd as speakers even invoked the recent attacks during the Boston Marathon weeks ago.
Frightened citizens sheltered in place with no means to defend themselves. How many Bostonians wish they had a gun 2 weeks ago?
That's all we have for your National News Roundup. Check back next week for more.
If you're curious to know what the Holy Fire celebration is all about, what's going on in Syria, and the Malaysian election, Dana Blancal has the latest news from all around the world.
Tens of thousands of pilgrims have visited the old city of Jerusalem, impatient to observe what the faithful see as the miracle of the Holy Fire ceremony. The event takes place on the eve of the Orthodox Church's Easter, when a lamp placed in the tomb of Jesus in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is mysteriously lit. Immediately, candles take up the flame and the holy fire is rapidly passed among worshippers. Traditionally, an olive lamp is also lit and transferred as soon as possible to the West Bank town of Bethlehem. The flame is then taken to other Christian cities and villages and flown out to the Orthodox communities throughout the world. The heart of the ceremony is the belief that the holy flame is lit through divine intervention in the form of a sunbeam shining through the ceiling into the sacred Jerusalem church. A series of explosions rocked the outskirts of the Syrian capital, Damascus. A senior Israeli official has confirmed Israeli warplanes launched an airstrike at Syria, the second attack in a few days. The source said the target had been a shipment of Iranian-made missiles ready to be sent to Hezbollah, the militant group in Lebanon. Unverified daytime pictures are said to show smoke rising from a Damascus suburb. Israel's government has made no official comment on the airstrikes, but media reports say it has deployed its mobile Iron Dome anti-missile defense system on its northern border. The polls have closed in Malaysia and the counting begun. The general election has been the most closely fought in the country's history, with the possibility that voters could put an end to a run of 56 years in power for the ruling Barisan Nasional coalition. Despite trying to win over a growing middle class with social reforms, Prime Minister Najib Razak has come up against a momentum for change, especially among young Malaysians. As the polls closed, there were tales of suspected fraud allegedly carried out by the ruling coalition. Witnesses claimed that indelible ink could be easily washed off, enabling some to cast ballots twice. Results selecting the 222-seat parliament will begin to tickle in over the next few hours.
When we come back, it was busy at the box office this weekend. We've got all the numbers.
And are you making healthy choices when you go out to eat for dinner? We've got plenty of ways to make sure you're eating right for beach season.
The odds of this daughter of a clergyman spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org.
Is healthy eating a challenge for you? We have the latest tips on how to make eating out a healthy activity.
As a beverage choice, ask for water, fat-free or low-fat milk, unsweetened tea or other drinks without the added sugars. Ask for whole wheat bread for sandwiches. Start your meal with a salad packed with veggies to curb your hunger. Ask for salad dressing on the side. Then only use as much as you want. Choose main dishes that include vegetables such as stir-fry or kebabs. Order steamed, grilled, or broiled instead of fried or sautéed. Choose small or medium portions. If main portions at a restaurant are larger than you want, try ordering an appetizer or side dish. Share a main dish with a friend. Take home leftovers, or when food is ordered, set aside half. Order your food without gravies or cream sauces. Do not put butter on your food, and choose fruits for dessert. Lastly, on long commutes or shopping trips, pack fresh fruit, string cheese, or unsalted nuts to avoid shopping for fatty snacks.
The communications department here on campus had the opportunity to travel through southern Vietnam to report on what they experienced while venturing through the country. Madeline Skanes has a story on what the Vietnamese markets are all about.
Vietnamese markets, a place where packaged meats do not exist. A variety of vegetables are laid out fresh, and fish are still squirming on the table right next to you. This is their grocery store. Going to the market is an everyday errand, but for travelers, this is a jaw-dropping experience that many will never forget.
A little scary compared to you seeing everything nicely packaged in the supermarkets in the U.S. Everything's right out in your face. Blood, guts, smells, everything. So
when the smell of all the raw and peculiar food becomes a little too much, the ease of shopping for traditional Vietnamese items is just a quick walk around the corner. If you aren't scared of the guts and gores and chopping of meat in front of you, these markets are definitely for you. It's full of fun and adventure. Reporting from Vietnam, I'm Madeline Skanes.
Buena Park is going to be opening some new exhibits with hopes of bringing more tourists into the city. Erica Cueto is on location.
The Movieland Wax Museum here in Buena Park was open for 43 years and closed in the year 2005. It's going to be reopening this summer because there's a new lease to premiere exhibitions. They host the exhibitions Bodies and Titanic the Experience. Body exhibit took 20 years to complete by Dr. Gunther von Higgins. The exhibit puts real bodies on display. While the people were alive, they consented to donating their bodies to science. This gives visitors a chance to see what we really look like if we eat too much, not exercise enough, and even smokers' lungs. Titanic the Experience has an open exhibit in Orlando. That location will now only feature half of the historical artifacts, while the others will be in the Buena Park exhibit. There will be an extensive underwater room displaying the ship as she appears on the bottom of the Atlantic, and other full-scale recreations. Both of those exhibits will be featured here at this location in the hopes of bringing new revenue to the city of Buena Park, because there are so many tourist attractions, and they're hoping that these will provide new jobs to the local community. Both of these exhibits have been seen by more than 15 million people, and now the tourists of Buena Park will get to experience it too. This is Erica Cueto reporting.
We saw monster numbers at the box office this weekend for Iron Man 3. The Disney superhero film earned $175 million from its first 3 days in North America. So far, Iron Man 3 is the second best opening weekend for a film ever, behind The Avengers, which debuted this weekend about a year ago. About 45% of the tickets sold were in the 3D format. Much like The Avengers, Iron Man 3 appealed to a large demographic with a slightly tilt toward older men. A few other soon-to-be-released films are also expected to be blockbusters. Experts are predicting big box office numbers for Star Trek Into Darkness and Fast and Furious 6. That is going to do it for us here at OC News. I'm Averill Tamaiko.
And I'm Shannon McPherson. We'll see you on the next edition of OC News.